Hi, I'm Rick Peterson from 3P Sports. I'm here to offer the 3P pitching program. I'm here with Al Leiter, former Major League pitcher. 19 years in the big leagues, 3 World Championships, 2 All-Stars, and 1 no-hitter to his credit. That's amazing, Al. I had the great privilege of being the pitching coach when Al pitched for me in 2004. And we went through so many different experiences, and now we're able to have Al introduce the 3P program, pitching program, to the amateur level, and this is a major privilege for me.
Well, thank you, and that was a nice introduction. You actually made me feel good there. Before I get into the 3P pitching performance, I have to commend a guy that I've respected over the years. As Rick mentioned, he was my pitching coach in 2004 with the Mets. I've watched him for years in opposing dugouts and really was intrigued by a guy who truly is forward-thinking. And I would be remiss not to start this by saying, here's a guy who was the pioneer in the thinking behind the biomechanics of pitching. And we're going to get into that. But basically, the biomechanics is everything that was broken down in the empirical data to show exactly what pitchers are doing and how you can create and quantify different points in the delivery as to whether you have a problem or not. Very exciting. We're going to talk about. Part of the 3 Ps is the first one, the performance skills side. The mechanics of it. What drills you work on. What are you working on? Are you working on the proper mechanics? You have a lot of pitching coaches out there. They're all trying and doing the right thing, or at least they think they're doing a good thing. But are they really working on drills that are able to and put you in position to be consistent to throw a baseball? The other one is the strength and conditioning side of it. Of course, you need strength and conditioning. Any athlete in all sports, you need to be strong. We're going to talk about specifically what are some of the exercises that are necessary and important to keep you healthy as a pitcher. And the last one, I think probably the most important, and they're all equally important, but I know that it helped me in my 19-year career, is the mental side of pitching. There's no question about it that when I finally was able to somewhat harness what I was thinking and realize that truly the most important thing for a pitcher is about executing a pitch and staying in the moment. We're going to talk about that as well. But to start with, Rick, I mentioned about you being a pioneer, about the biomechanics of pitching. Why and how did that all start?
Well, you know, I was a AA pitching coach with the White Sox in 1989 in Birmingham, Alabama. And that's when Dr. Andrews opened up the American Sports Medicine Institute lab solely for the study of the biomechanics of the pitching delivery, number 1, to reduce the risk of injury, and number 2, to enhance performance. We went back to the Bob Gibson days. We looked at Bob Gibson, Don Sutton, Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan, all the great pitchers that number 1 stayed healthy over those years and were also the top performers, and asked the question, is there something that they do with their delivery that has some common threads that maybe we can build a pitching program around? So we went through the biomechanics of the study of the biomechanics with Dr. Andrews and Dr. Fleisig and looked at, there's 42 measurements in a 3D analysis, and there's 5 major red flags in the delivery that directly relate to major injury. And we're able to take that data, and it's one of our favorite quotes, "In God we trust, all others must have data." And we took that and we said, how can we train the body through this biomechanical analysis so that we can master the delivery?
Very exciting, and when I say forward thinking, it truly is. We mentioned about the 3 Ps is the performance skills. What exactly is that?
Well, after we understood what the measurements were in the delivery, we asked the question, what is the best way to train this? And we actually took, so to speak, a martial arts approach to this and said, wouldn't it be nice that you could get your black belt in your pitching delivery? So we took all the drills that we've traditionally used as pitching coaches, and we wondered, do they actually train the proper movements to eliminate the red flags? So we took each drill into the lab, we did studies of each drill, and came up with significant drills that actually do train the delivery.
3 Ps. Second part of the triangle is strength and conditioning. Sounds kind of obvious. What specific drills do we look at and work on?
Well, when we built the conditioning program, it wasn't just about lifting weights and getting stronger and getting bigger, but we wanted to find out, how do we train the delivery based on the measurements? Can we actually train velocity, hip rotation velocities? Can we get the hips going faster? Can we make sure that the body is staying healthy, the rotator cuff areas, the scap, all the things that were the pitchers, the parts of the body that start to break down. So our conditioning experts took all those measurements and built a conditioning program. You have off-season, you have preseason, and you have in-season to make sure that you can stay healthy so that when you go to the mound for those 32, 34 starts at a major league level and scale it down to the amateur level, you're going there in physical top condition to perform at your optimal level.
The mental side, I mentioned most important. Certainly all three are important, but how does the mental side incorporate into the 3 Ps?
Well, Al, that's a great question. And early in my career, I was always fascinated as I was pitching all through high school and college and how to deal with that anxiety when you're out there performing. So when I was in college, I said, you know what, I'm going to study this. So I actually studied sports psychology, and for 5 years with the White Sox from 1990 through 95, had the opportunity to co-direct the sports psychology program. And we did research, and again, it's based on research and development. What are the performance-related skills that allow people to perform at high levels? Why has Al Leiter been able to win 3 world championships and be in 2 all-star games? What makes you an all-star? It's not just your talent, but you realize that preparation equals performance in those 3 areas. And you were able to be focused. You take a look at the Pedro Martinez's, all the great pitchers in the game, Tommy Glavine, and you learned from all those guys and said, what is there some common threads? Number one, they stay focused on process. That's a major, major factor. And I've always heard you say in the dugout when we were together in between innings, I got to stay focused on process. I got to stay focused on process, executing 1 pitch at a time, keeping myself relaxed under pressure. I know there's a lot of close-ups when they watch you pitch in the big leagues, taking that deep breath of kind of that cleansing breath. There's all those skills, even now to this day. So we were able to take all 3 sides of these triangles and realize that preparation equals performance, not just physical talent, and be able to put together a program that is optimal, that we can truly make a difference.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. I certainly wasn't the most talented arm-wise, but I could tell you when I finally figured out the mental side, I was the most prepared. Doesn't mean, as you say, it's not about the end result. What I'm really excited about the 3 Ps pitching performance is that as we listen to Rick Peterson here, respected pitching coach for many years at the major league level, this program has been exclusive prior to now for the professional pitchers. And now we are able to introduce it from Little League right on up to Major League Parks. And truly, this is the spectrum of opportunity here is so great and so exciting. I am so happy to be a part of this program, and I just can't wait for you all to join us.